Hey, hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Okay, today we are going to be taking a look at retro synth. I'm going to create a new project here and go with tracks. And here I am going to see I've got retro synth. It was the last one I'm using. However, I'm going to choose here and go 4 tracks and go done. And now I'm going to create 4 tracks, and I'm going to create 4 tracks of the same instance of retro synth. Now I'm just going to go this, and we got 4 retro synths, and at the moment they will all be playing the same sound. Now there's a very good reason I have chosen 4 retro synth. I'm just going to customize my track header now to show track colors, because retro synth, I'm going to just choose this first one here. Retro synth is 4 synths in one. Let's open it up full screen here. So here is the default sound. Now you will see analog, sync, table, and FM. So it's an analog synth, a synth that will do sync, wavetables, and you've got tons of wavetables. We'll go through the interface of the synths anyway, and then FM. Let's go back to analog for a moment. Right. It comes with tons of patches. Well, I say tons, it's quite a lot. Right, you've got synth leads, synth pads, bass, strings. Watch this. If I go with, say, synth pads, for example, and go, right, I'll just choose this access codes one, you'll see that it's a wavetable synth. Berlin Experience is an analog. So let's leave it on that just for a moment. Okay, let's close our preset browser. This is the interface, right? Now, bear in mind, pay attention to some of this stuff, especially things like the, I'm going to open the filter up full, close the residence, reset that to 0, and pull this down, and then set that up. So we've got some LFO. Now, pay attention to the filter and these settings I've just made when I change the synth. You see that they are the same. Go to wavetable, find filter, they're the same. Watch this. And then the FM, the filter's the same. So what happens is the parameters for the synth will stay the same once you change the type, okay? But then you can go in and save your own patch here, obviously, for any of the synths that you want. So this makes this very powerful and very interesting. It makes it possible to get sounds that you wouldn't normally get. Now, I'm going to go into my inspector here, just start changing some of these colors up, just so that we can have something a little different going on here. Let's go here and change the color to maybe this red color. So just so it's more interesting than just looking at the one color. This one, and let's go to our last one here, instrument 4, and change that color to, I don't know, this one. Okay, so now we've got 4 different colors, and again this will become obvious in a little while as well. So I'm going to go back to the first one. Going to open up the presets. And I'm going to choose that chill out pad for no particular reason. Now I'm going to go to the second synth here. You see it's defaulted to analog. And we're going to choose maybe some synth keyboards, maybe. And we'll see that in FM synth. We'll go to our third one here. And I'll choose some maybe synth strings, but I'll change this now to a sync synth. And then we'll go to our last one here. And maybe choose some synth brass. Okay, let's close our browser a moment. So now we'll watch this change, the engine will change. We have different engines for each of these. In fact, we'll change that to a table. So 4 different engines now. Okay, let's take a look at this retro synth, the wave table one. For the wavetable oscillator, now most of the controls are the same. You'll find they're mirrored as we go through the controls. They're mirrored for each of the different synth types. And like I said, those parameters will change for each of them that you choose. Okay, but the oscillators are different, obviously. So in the wavetable one, you can reverse the wavetable, or you can choose a wavetable. So let's put it back, and then you get app wavetables, and there are lots and lots of these wavetables, right? So you can choose loads of different ones, and they will behave differently, of course. Lovely. Let's get a sound we like on here. Let's mess around with this. So this is obviously the FM. Let's go to our ADSR here. Foot controlling. Right, hang on. Let's just do this. So you can see where you're getting the interfaces. Now, I'm not an FM programmer, so... And you do get some effects, right? On some of them, there are some effects. Let me see if I can find them on here. Yeah, there we go. Here's one here. This one, we have chorus or flanger. And I think this is pretty much the same. I don't want to mess with me sound, so we'll go back to another one. And let's see what effects we have for the table synth here. It's probably the same. Here you go. Chorus and flanger. So the effects are mirrored as well. The retro synth is a synth with superpowers. So now we've got 4 synthesizers playing 4 retro synths, doing the different. You can make these play at the same time, right? There's two cool ways to do this. But if you wanted to, say, for instance, record the MIDI for, you'd set your record and you'd record some MIDI in. Or you can arm all of them, right? But there's a much better way to do this. Right. Let's just choose the first one. We're going to build a multi-layered super retro synth very quickly. If we tap on any of these, it doesn't matter which one, we'll tap on this one. And you'll see it says here, create folder stack, or create summing stack. A folder track will create like subgroups for you. There's a difference between a summing track and a folder stack. Let's create a summing track. And what this has done now is put all these inside of this one track, right? So you see, I only have the first one armed and it's playing all of them. So you've created a multi-timbral synth. Awesome. But it actually gets much cooler than this. First of all, let's just tap on this and we can go rename, and let's call this 4-layer retro synth. Okay, done. So this is our 4-layer. If we close this now, you'll see that we can just see but we're still playing it. Now we've got one global control for that synth. If we open up and again, this is different than the folder track. If we open up this now, you'll see 4-layer retro synth. We've got an audio effect. Let's add a reverb to that effect. So let's go and get a basic reverb from Logic. Oops, not that one. We want a reverb dig. Let's put in a silver verb. Let's open this up and have a look at some of the controls. So we want some dry in here as well. Awesome stuff. Gets cooler than that. This is what happens when you build a summing track, right? So you still got your controls there like this. What's cool about this is you can then, I might show this. I'll show this in a very simple summing track next, so not to get confused. So let's just open up our inspector and you will see it's for our 4-layer retro. And if we close this here, you'll see that it's white. And I don't know why it's white. Let's see if we change the color here. It'll change the header color as well. Has it changed? I think it has. It's maybe because it's a summing track. It's kind of hued it in a little bit different. Doesn't matter. But it means you can do this, right? This is the icon here because it's a thing. But we could change the icon to say, I don't know, a synth. Maybe that one, just for fun. So we know it's a synthesizer 4-layer retro synth, kind of self-explanatory, it says. So let's open this up again. What happens now is, and again, this is different than the folder stack. You can't do this. This lane here, this will now we can just go to one synth, right? And it's just going to play. And if we selected on this one thing, let's just record something, shall we? See what happens. So I'll just switch my metronome on just to give us a bit of time. I won't bother with setting a loop region or anything. I'll just do a count in. Okay. There you see we've missed out the first few notes. All we need to do there is go in here. We need to just quantize this. So I'm going to go up to, it's there. I'm going to go quantize 16. You'll see them. They'll jump back in. It's just that I missed the very beginning. So it doesn't matter. It's very cool. It's just quantizing its back, right? So, and we could do the same for all of these. We could record a separate MIDI part and then we can overall control them with this. Right, so imagine you've recorded 4 bits, now you've got overall control. It's like a group track then kind of thing. However, let's delete this MIDI here, delete. Let's select this track now and watch what happens now, right? All these, don't forget, none of these are armed for record. This one is, I'm going to record. And what's going to happen is it's going to record MIDI on air of all of these. Very, very, very cool. You can imagine And you could use this for anything. It doesn't just work with retro synth. It'll work with your AUV3s. A summing track is really, really great. So let's do this. Okay. Stop that. Let's go back. Did I miss any? I don't know. This may be quantized now because let's see. Yeah, I missed the first note out. So let's just go to our information here. Let's switch quantize on for 16th note. Should get my note back in the beginning there, theoretically. If I was good enough, let's see. Yep, there you go. So now what you've got is this multi-layered super synth with that reverb on it, because we're on here, remember. And you can add other effects. Obviously, you can go nuts. That's one of the cool ways you could use retro synth as a thing and combine all its different wavetables, you know. Here's another cool trick for your summing track. Let's go here. Let's do plus. Let's add one retro synth, and you'll see that it's outside here. So it's not part of this. It's just that. It's just the synth again. Let's maybe look in the. We could look either show patches here. I want to see the synth though. So I'm going to go to retro synth. I'm going to go show the patches for that. We're on brass here. Let's see what this sounds like. So we'll play a few sounds in retro synth for you to listen to as well. So we've got synth.
Sorry.
We've got this is Joe sneezing.
Sorry.
You all right?
Yeah.
You a bit bunged up.
I'm just, snotty.
Joe, you can't say snotty on YouTube. Now, this is a mono sound. Here's a thing to look at as well. If your sound is mono and you're thinking, why is that? Where do I control the polyphony from? Well, you go down and find global, and it's in here where it says polyphony. You're on legato. However, you can have 4 voices of detune as well, with unison. Tap on legato now, and you can choose up to 16 voices of polyphony. Let's choose, I don't know, 8. Don't need 16. Okay, let's go back to let's go back to our presets. Excuse me. And like I said, this isn't, here's a big. This is perfect, actually. So this is your absolute classic. Let's have a mess with the patch, shall we? Let's full screen this. See what we've got going on down here. This is the filter envelope. It's our amp envelope. It's 10 unison flat. Very cool sound. aftertouch. We go all Gary Newman. Okay, so that's having a messing around with the sync. So if we change to like an FM or a table, let's say we like that sound. We won't mess around with it. And let's go back to our thing here. You'll see that this is outside of our layered synth. Let's open it up. All we need to do to add another layer is just drag this and just stick it inside. And now that big syncer is now part of your layer. And we can actually then seriously go in and just change that name. Let's put that there and go back. Oh, I'm going to do this with my fingers. It's easier. Rename. Just tap somewhere outside. Let's grab this back. And oh my God, what am I doing? Right, hang on a minute. I know. rename the synth. How hard can it be? Back. Far. I kept hitting enter. Right. So enter them. Now we've got our 5 layers in. Now you hear that bass is a bit much. It's kind of detracting from the sound. So well, look, we know that this is our sound. Let's select it. It's going to have a bit of reverb on because it's global reverb over the synth. But I want to reduce the range. So I'm going to go to my inspector here and let's go with more and key limit. So I'm guessing this is about as low as I want to go, which is, I'm guessing it might be C3. So I'm going to go this limit here, which is the top limit. I'm going to go with a C and a C3. Let me just check that. So it's actually C2 I want. So low limit wants to be sorry, C2. Perfect. That's C-2, by the way, not C2. So we're now our low limit. If we look at our keyboard here, and we'll see here, it says C2, and anything above that is not going to play. Or for the bass synth. Right, let's close the play surface for that. Let's go back to our main one now. So now all this top end stuff is going to be free running, and now all we need to do is bring our bass in when we want. Now we could do the same because it's starting to sound muddy. We could do the same for, say, this, right, where this is. And we could set our low range to be, let's see, this is the low range, we'll select it. We could select it to be C3. No, actually, sorry, C2 in it. We want it to be C2. C2. So anything below C2 isn't going to play. And we can do this for our other ones as well. So all we need to do is go low limit C2. Okay. And C2, not the minus C2, we want it to be just C2. And not the big sinker, because the big sinker is this. And then our last one here, we can set that to be C2. So now everything below, let's go back to our retro synth main 5 layer. There's our bass, and everything above is going to be our synth. So now we've got a better control over it. So bass is probably a bit low, but it doesn't matter. For the purposes of that particular thing, of building like a multi-timbral synth, is very cool. Epic. Right. I can't even talk. I'm not even kidding.
I know.
Okay, so let us create another retro synth. In fact, this time let's create 2 of them. And just do this, and it creates us 2 new tracks. First of all, let's find some sounds, shall we? Well, let's listen to some sounds. Or you've also got pulse width, as long as you're on square wave, of course. Filter types, we have many. Let's see what... high pass, lush. Very nice. Mod wheel. Cool plucky type sound. What we got going on with our effects and things. Let's see. This is mod wheelhouse. There's our amp envelope. Effects off, so Okay, let's save this so you can see how you can save your patches. I'm going to save as modulated with a capital M, Doug. Modulated pluck. Okay. Cool. Very cool. Now we've keep our modulated pluck is saved. If we go to sync now, it will keep this all this general settings that is the same, and we'll have a kind of a synced pluck sound, but we can, or a wavetable pluck sound. Very nice. And an FM pluck sound that you can then go and kind of play it. And then back to this. But say you've messed it up kind of thing, you know, you've gone all mad and you think, oh my God, what have I gone now? With a bit of luck, let's change some of these as well, just for fun. A bit of that, a bit of this. It's not a bad sound, actually. No. Okay, we go back now to our presets here. Open them up. And I'm guessing that these will be, we'll go here. In user. Now, oh, it's there. Sometimes, as you've seen from my other videos, it's not blanking, it's not there. So let's select it, modulated plug there. And it's back to exactly how we had it. So that's how you save your presets. It's really easy stuff, to be fair, the saving. Let's try this though, right? So just to make sure, and it goes back to the synth type we were using, right? Okay, I am going to finish this video by adding some other effects in to this. So let's open up our, let's go back here. And we're on our, that's our multi-synth. Here's our modulated pluck. So let's add some delay in. Guys, while I'm doing this, if you're watching on a Premiere, thank you very, very, very much for joining us. You can start to say to each other now. I'm just going to be playing around with this for a few minutes. If you're watching any other time and you're still watching, thanks very much. You've done well. Please consider striking that like or subscribing to the channel or becoming a patron to help support me and Joe here at the Sound Test Room. What say you, Joe?
Don't think about striking the like. Strike it.
Strike it.
Strike it.
Strike it now.
I know you want to.
So let's look at some of the delays. Let's look at delays. Oh, let's look at tape delay. Let's open this up, shall we, and have a look. Nice tape delay. Tempo syncs fine. Frozen the feedback. It's a really nice sound. You can get tape flutter, go and listen. loads of options, and of course the tape has got presets as well. This might be nice. Very cool. Very cool. So there you go, guys. There it is. Retro synth. Let's go back to our kind of... All the one there. Actually, we didn't actually get to mess around with this one, this default one. But hey, there you go. Anyway, cool. That's it. I'll see you later. Ta-da.